I am interested in the question of belonging and identity construction. It's more complicated than people show it to be, and I mean, this project is a huge example of that.
I'm a current MA student at CMES, the Center for Middle Eastern Studies.
I am in the MFA program at the Department of Visual Arts. The past few years, I have been drawn to cultural symbols and using them in various ways in my paintings and drawings. And when we found out about this grant, seeing that we both started our grad school this year, it made sense to join our interests together.
I've been interested in the later portions of the Ottoman Empire for quite a while, later being starting with the mid-18th century up until the 20th century, let's say. It involves modernity, modernization, which in a way the people of the time see that as westernization. With that, we then come to this Columbian World Expo that happened in Chicago at the end of the 19th century. And the Ottomans basically tried to show themselves as this singular, homogeneous bloc as a country. And we were particularly interested and intrigued in what they showed, what they picked, the items, the atmosphere that they portrayed.
Every week we would meet and Firat would bring me new sources based on the readings he'd done and the research he'd done, and tell me, oh, this was what was shown, this is a photo I found. He would provide me all of these materials, and then I would incorporate that into my work. Something that was shown in the expo that was really interesting for me was the fez, the hat. The fez was a fixation for me for a very long time. It had this really specific connotation to that type of tradition, modernity, masculinity, and all of these things. Since then, I've worked with actual fezes, covered them in glitter, covered them in mirrored tiles, and thought about them in different ways. So knowing that the fez had a central place in this expo, and knowing Firat's interest in this time period was productive for me.
Basically, what I've researched for the historical component of this project with art, one is very textual and one is not that textual, obviously. Early on, that has been, this is a question we need to tackle.
Throughout this process, I've sketched out a lot of stuff and had many different avenues that I could take. Some of those paintings are actually in the studio right now. They're very much informed by the research that Firat did and the conversations that we've had.
Looking at ourselves, we grew up in the 21st century of Turkey. It was in the process of slowly changing itself from a certain national identity to a revised one. The research that I did and what we are producing really showed me that things have been not that different, but at the same time super different and always chaotic.